That is the truth of the topic today. Jesus was not the guy you think he was. And more than likely than not, he doesn't like you either. And I'm speaking to most people, but not all people. Because among the people of this world that claim to follow him don't. But there's ones in between that think a little bit about it because they care enough, like myself, to say, is that actually correct? How come everyone else has a different opinion than I have? When I attend this church. If I attend another church, it's a different opinion. How come we're right and they're wrong? And then I think about when I read the Pharisees, the system that was in place at that time, what they thought, how they acted towards Christ. A person they've been waiting for since the beginning, generation after generation after generation. And finally, in this generation, there he is. The bodily form, the embodiment of God and everything he stood for and everything he said, standing in the form of a human being right in front of them, and they didn't even see it. They didn't even recognize it. Some of them did. Seems like Nicodemus, so there's other people he's referring to in John. We know that you're from God. They saw it. Other people saw it. And in all honesty, if Jesus never did a miracle or made food come out of nowhere, heal people, no one would listen to him. I don't think that they would. They wouldn't listen to anything that he said. He'd be treated as some crackpot. The system that existed then is the exact same system that exists now. In the exact same way. Could you imagine that for a second, being Jesus? Being nailed up to a piece of wood like a piece of meat after he was beaten. And he did all these things. Let's say he came back today. And he did all that just for everything to be the exact same way that they were the day they killed him, murdered him. The Christians have taken the place of the religious organization of that time. The Pharisees, Sadducees, I don't care who it is. You have people like me that, and it's no offense to me, but I've studied very, very hard to figure out what was said and what does that mean. And it's not easy to figure out everything, to understand everything that was said. Overall, it makes sense. But the little details, I don't know. Probably never know. And it's not really that important. But if someone said something to me, based off the understanding that I have of what it actually says, based on the language used and the proper meanings of those words, and the range of meanings, there could be 2-3 different meanings just for one word, and then it could change the scenario just a little bit. And I understand every single one of them. Every single one of them is possible. It's not hard to figure that out. And if I heard someone say something, you know what, that makes sense. When I say things, it doesn't make any sense to people. People that attack me like on the Steve Grapefront, his disciples, will say things like, you're mentally ill, and it's funny, it's all the same things that they said about Jesus. When he said things. I'm not Jesus, but I am his disciple. I am doing everything that I can to become exactly like him. I've actually taken the time, and I've been given the time to do just that. All I do all day long is just think about this stuff. Think about him. Think about God. what was happening, what that means today. And it's simple. It really is. The hardest part was overcoming all the whys that was told to me. But even from the beginning, it didn't make any sense, what they said. Jesus had, this is the point right here in Matthew where Jesus hasn't come back yet. Okay. Let's look at that. The more you look into it, the more it doesn't make any sense. Then you ask the people that told you to, and they just get upset because they can't answer it. Why don't they know? Why don't they know exactly what it means? Or exactly what it says, anyway. Sorry. Exactly what it says and what the possible meanings could be. Most people that go to college understand this, but they don't really tell you because then they have to sit there and explain everything to you, to every single person for the rest of their lives, and they don't want to do that. They have other things to do. So they just go along with the lie. And then a Jesus or someone that represents the things that he was saying comes up to them and they get pissed off. If Jesus came back right now, it'd be the Christians that killed him. They do the exact same thing that the Pharisees did. Maybe even in the same way. Maybe they just accuse him of child molestation or something. Put some pictures of some kids that they took of their own kids and somehow put it on his phone and say, oh, Jesus did that, and have him arrested, have him go away. They'd do something. I imagine the look on his face if he did come here, looking at us and us looking at him, and the disappointment and the sheer just ridiculousness of it all, of how we haven't evolved at all in any way. We haven't progressed at all. We're in the exact same place as a human race, as humans, believers of God, than we were 2,000 years ago. Someone like a Nicodemus says, well, let's enforce our own rules. Should we be accusing someone that we haven't even found guilty of something, and then they say, oh, are you from Galilee as well? Are you a Nazarene as well? Whatever that person responded to, the Pharisee. I mean, they violate their own rules. To kill Jesus the way that they did is just the biggest rule violation of them all. Jews are not supposed to harm other Jews. I mean, they could kill a Gentile, but they can't kill a Jew. Especially the way they did. They know who Jesus was. They violate their own rules. It is on purpose. All of this is on purpose. Because people don't get it. People aren't listening. But they are given something that appears to be the same, but it's not. Just like the Judaism. That Judaism, it wasn't. Jesus even said, follow the rules, but don't do what they do. Remember that? Do what you're supposed to. If they do what they're doing and they're not supposed to, don't do it. Don't follow them. It's the same thing now. The system itself wasn't important. It was actually a joke. As far as I can tell, it was just a big joke. A joke on them. I'm basically just going to give you a bunch of stupid tasks to do to keep you occupied and keep you out of trouble. And then one day he did away with the system. He says, well, it's time to actually have the real system in place. 2,000 years later, people are still following the old system. People of the new covenant are following the old covenant. That's how stupid people are. It's so clear Jesus said he came back in the first century, yet nobody takes that view. I was talking to a friend who called me out of the blue. Haven't heard from him in years. He was telling me stuff about his pasture getting kicked out, and they got a new pasture, and they're going to, I told him a couple things. Went right over his head. Might as well not even have said it. He kind of pauses, listens to it, and then he continues on with what he was saying. Continuation of it. In one ear, right out the other. It didn't even dawn on them. I told that before. And he has the problems other Christians have that I see. They're depressed, and they're going to see a therapist, and they're going to talk, and they're going to take some medicine, and everything's just going to be hunky-dory. Jesus wasn't depressed. Jesus didn't have these problems. But you have these problems. You haven't figured that out yet? Your kids are fucked up. Your grandkids are even more fucked up. People are chopping off their fiремans and putting on dresses. That's how screwed up they are. They can't even see the world for what it is. They think, gee, if I let some guy put his penis in my butt, maybe I'll be happier. And everyone applauds it. It's because you failed. You failed them. Christianity has failed the world. And that's what it's supposed to do. That's the trap. But the people inside of it don't get it. And they just continue on. They just put their head down and they just take it and they just keep going forward. Things that I say are things that I've found to be, let's just say that's more true than what they're hearing. I can guarantee a lot of the things I have said, as far as Luke 21, Luke 17:21, Matthew 24, these types of passages, even Revelation, like 21 and 22. No one has ever, the James Tabor, the Bart Ehrmans, they don't disagree. They just don't see it that way. Now, why is that? How come I spend all my time talking to God? I said, why am I talking to these people? I'll just talk to God. I'll ask him. And I get all these answers. And they're not wrong. They're not. They don't believe it. That's fine. But the people inside of Christianity reject what's actually being said by Jesus. How can you be a disciple of him if you don't even know what he said? And when you do hear it, you don't even for a second sit there and think, maybe I should look into that. Maybe I should listen to a little bit more. And that's it. I don't want to be your guru. I actually wouldn't let you. I see all these new subscribers. I don't know who they are. They're not asking me any questions. Maybe listen to a couple things and consider it and move on. I've done a lot of the work. It's right there. Right there at your feet. And that's what this is about. Most people reject it. And they don't even know why. All they're doing is standing up for their own turf, for their own guru. Everyone thinks Steve Gregg is a great guy. The guy's going to hell. He's a Satanist. He's a bad guy. Because he intentionally lies. He intentionally takes some stupid view that he has over the words of Christ. How can you say you love someone when you're not only you're not listening to what he says, but you know what he said, and you reject what he says and manipulates it into something else for a scenario that isn't even supported by the Bible. I can get into Matthew 24 with them. I can just keep going with these people all day long. This is really not rocket science. I didn't graduate high school and I understand what's going on. I could barely remember what a verb is or an adjective. Yet I've learned all this stuff because I've asked. And that's all you need to do is ask. But you don't ask. You just listen to someone else. I made the same mistake. I made the same mistakes for years. I'll call Steve. I'll ask Bart Ehrman. I'll ask, the ChatGPT. All this stuff. You have the greatest teacher of all. And you can ask him anything. And you don't. You don't believe him. You don't believe what I'm saying. And you don't even consider it. That's the problem. That's your problem. But you better get with the program. Because though it's too late for people like Steve Gregg, who interfered with the Spirit, as they say, that could never be forgiven. A lot of you people do have a chance to at least try to go to God and say, I'm here to do what you say. Not what I want, not what anyone else tells me, but what you say, what you tell me. How many of you are going to do that? How many of you are actually going to do that? And a lot of the people say, well, I'm already doing that. Well, then how come you're wrong? I know people that go to churches, Catholics going to Calvinist churches and rapture churches, people inside the rapture church that don't even believe in the rapture. And they go to these churches and it doesn't make a lot of sense. I know why they go. They like the church, but how could you just sit there and listen to it? How could you just sit there and listen to them lie and lie and lie and lie like that? And then not say anything. Unless you're trying to learn what they say. But they're members. They're part of an organization that is continually manipulating what was actually said for something that they favor. It's just a system that they sign on to that they continue to build upon and reinforce. And it's not even correct. And it's so easy to tell. When you actually read and understand the New Testament, let's just say the Gospels, it's so easy to tell when someone's saying something that's not accurate. It's very, very simple. And that's my biggest problem, because people will say, okay, well, what does it mean? I don't know. It could mean this, this, or this, maybe. And it could mean that. Like Luke 17:21, I'm not really sure exactly what's being said, or even if that scenario still existed after 70, when the kingdom came, when Jesus came, when the Son of Man came. I don't even know if that's still true today, because it's a realm now. But that's what it says. Jesus said the Son of Man will be coming in the first century. There's one person that would disagree that I am aware of that would say, when the Son of Man comes, the kingdom of God will come, the judgment will happen, all these things that are supposed to happen happens at the parousia. I've never met anyone that has not agreed with that. So it happened in the first century according to Jesus. Why don't you believe all the other stuff that's happened? It's a problem. It's a big problem. And then you say, well, I'm a Christ follower. What Christ are you talking about? The God in Christ that Catholicism invented? The God in Christ that big fat idiots like that Patrick Hagee guy, the one that hangs out with Trump all the time, talks about the rapture. We got to rebuild the temple. That Jesus? Because they're not the same. Everyone has a different Jesus. Korean Jesus, black Jesus, Jewish Jesus. None of them are real. And when someone does say something to you, you get an emotional rise out of it. That's the only thing you recognize, is the emotional rise you get. The non-threatening emotional rise. Oh, you sound like you're the same religion I'm in. Or, oh, you sound like a Catholic and I'm a Protestant, so I don't like it. But maybe on some grounds I do. I can't imagine the kind of trouble I am in with God. But at least I talk to him, at least I ask. At least I've always sat there and said, whatever you want me to do, whatever you have to say, that's what I want to hear. And I know there's a lot of people like that out there. There really is. But they say they do. But they don't actually do it. And there's a lot of that. Oh yeah, geez. Whatever he wants. And then they immediately go do the opposite of it. get ready for a really disappointing time. If it's not already disappointing already, which it is. Because what's today, Friday? It's almost time for your fix. Time to get back into church and feel good again. Get high on Jesus again. Maybe go back in Wednesday, get high again. Keep you going. Hopefully there'll never be another problem why you can't go to church. Maybe you need a break from church because you're tired of pretending. When I started just asking God and just had faith because of the answers that I got, I was like, wow, this is really real. I can't explain it to anyone. I couldn't explain it to that Justin guy. They're not going to understand. People don't understand something that they can't see. They can't understand themselves because they haven't been through it. All those things have gone away all on their own. I didn't do anything. Some things remain, like I still like to eat. I overeat too much, stuff like that. I get upset with other people, and it's like, it's on purpose. And then I think, well, how come they don't listen? Well, you just have to deal with it. People die in my family. It did never affect me because I already know they're dead. Almost all the people I know are dead. They're dead meat. Because they don't want to listen. And the ones that say they listen, just say they listen. Just say they are listening. They just say they are. The judgment already happened, and Jesus said, the judgment is now. The judgment is on you now. Right this second. You die right this second, there's no system where you're going to appeal. That's it. You made your decision. Right here, right now. This is the time to do it. Not on your deathbed. Not after you die, you think you're going to go somewhere to some big courtroom and plead your case. It's now. And as soon as it's over, you're over. And wherever you end up is wherever you end up. I don't know where the line is, but why would you want to test it? That's what I don't understand. Why would you? If you really cared, it wouldn't. It's fear. It would be described as fear. But really, it's someone really loves me and I don't want to disappoint them. I don't think they really understood that love of God. Because it's all superficial. It's just a bunch of bullshit you've been filled up with. You've been conditioned, but you've never really experienced it. You've read all the romance novels, you've seen all the movies, but you've never really been in love yourself. Something like that. You don't know what it's really like. Someone who's never had kids to really feel like what it's like to have a kid. When you see someone else's kid dead, and how that affects you, because you think, wow, think about your own kid. People that don't have kids doesn't bother them so much. Something like that. People don't really care. They say they do, but they don't. Jesus is not a nice guy. He's not your friend. Unless you do what he says. But you don't know what he said. And when someone does say something, it pisses you off. When someone says the opposite, you love them. Oh, you love the Pope. Pope's a child molester. They all basically are, or they've hidden it, which means they're into something. And everyone loves the Pope. People like a Steve Gregg, God knows what he's doing, or what he did. Guy's had 3 wives, kids don't like him, don't want to talk to him, but you think he's a great guy. And you listen to everything he says. And I'm not saying anyone disagrees with everything someone says, but they're supposed to. Yet you defend them. The person that hates you the most you're willing to defend over that of someone who actually would really give you the love that is appropriate. God does know better. You're his creation. He tells you something and you do it. And everything's better. And that's why I don't have any problems anymore. Because I understand and I have faith in what happened. Because it didn't come from anywhere else. I isolated myself so I could hear only him. And then all the information came rushing in. And I understood it. I understood what was being said. Not the meaning of everything. And all the problems went away. All of them. I didn't even do anything. Yet all you people are sitting there thinking Jesus loves you, no matter who you are, no matter what you do. It's not good enough. And 99% of you aren't even in the ballpark, it seems. Everyone's different, and again, I don't know where the line is, and I don't speak for Jesus or God. But anyone who understands, because they've read it, the New Testament, can see the dichotomy, I think is the right word, of that world and this world. It hasn't changed a bit. The Christians are the Pharisees now, and it's just the same situation, which again is on purpose. But I'm speaking to the people who actually care, who sees this Christian world in front of them, and that's all they can see. But you got to turn around, and you'll start to see the light, and you'll say, "What is that?" And you'll turn away from this world, because what you see in front of you isn't it, and it's hard to tell because you're looking in front of you. This is your world. But it's not here. It's over here, behind you, where you don't see it. And as you turn, as your faith builds, you pray, you ask, and you're not looking at the world anymore. I'm here, but I'm not a part of anything anymore. I've been completely detached. What's being said is quite simple. You share that with other people, like my friend? Everyone. Or they get extremely pissed off. A reaction about that type of reaction is pretty incredible as well. Different topic though. Jesus does not love you, for the most part. I think it's pretty easy to figure that one out. Because you're in some system that isn't being honest with you, that isn't being truthful with you, and you're there because you deserve it, and you deserve it because you haven't bothered. You haven't bothered at all. If you walk into a church and you go up to someone and say, go up to the head person, the management, say, "Excuse me, does this church believe Jesus hasn't come back yet?" That's correct. Bye. I bet you won't find one church. And then you'll go to the previous church and they'll say, "Oh yeah, he came back." But it's funny, they're more correct than any other religion that I've seen, yet it's somehow even more horrible than all the other ones at the same time. I don't understand. They're more wrong than everyone else, yet they're right. Again, it's just, that's how it works. There isn't a system that's out there that exists. There isn't a religion. There isn't a church. There's nothing. Nothing exists. It's there for a purpose. The people can be good. I'm not even telling you not to go to church or interact with those people. But if you start relying on God, isolate yourself for a while and only talk to God. Pray to Him. You're going to see things are a lot different. I can't even be around those people. They're so fake to begin with because it's a cult. They just want you to see what they see. Being in the system, it's almost like being a woman because you got all these guys courting you. And oh, hey, Cody, you're such a great guy. Hey, everyone, Cody's here. Oh. And then you get in there and they fill your head full of shit. Or you can't convince them, me, to come to your church. And then after a while, you're completely worthless. It's like a guy who can't get sex with a woman. If he can't get sex off you, you're worthless to him. And then you see him at the gym or something. Oh, hey, Bob. Oh, hey, Cody. During the courtship, he was like, Cody, hey, buddy. You coming to church Tuesday? Oh, what a great Pastor Tom. He's such a great guy. He's so filled with the Spirit. Don't you agree? Say you agree, Cody. Because the more people agree with me, the less of a fucking moron I appear. And my kids hate me. And another one of my grandkids just became a transsexual and wears a black trench coat and has a bone in his head with green hair. I wonder why. Certainly not because I'm a fuckhead. No. I suppose not. You got it all going. People don't understand why. Atheism is a creation of, it's a byproduct of Christianity. Look what we've done to this world. We've screwed up our kids. We've allowed Marxism and communism, cultural Marxism to dissuade our children, my parents, people's parents, aunts, cousins, hell, grandfathers by now, that generation, to turn them against not only God, but their own country, their own people. You have people right now screaming and yelling about ICE officers. 10 years ago when Obama did it, wasn't a problem, but they don't see it. And it's just like the Christians, just like anyone else, even the atheists. They have some sort of edict, and they don't see it. Well, this is kind of a contradiction. I went to school, I learned what the Bible said, like this Justin guy, and I still continue to be a Christian, and I still continue to perpetuate lies to people. I mean, he's one of the smart ones. I mean, he's the exact opposite, but it's just an overreaction. But how could someone actually sit there and do that? This new pastor at my friend's church, I guarantee he's a fucking moron too. I don't even know who the guy is. I can guarantee he's full of shit. I could just... Because who would in their right mind step into a situation like that? If I was a pastor and I went to a church like that, well, I heard your old pastor was finger banging the secretary and stealing money and doing God knows what else. So I'm here now, and guess what? Jesus came 2,000 years ago. This really says that. That really says this. Oh, and guess what? Jesus probably doesn't like you very much because you're a bunch of fucking dumb shits. You only pretend to do what he says because someone you like, the guy who's finger banging your kids at daycare while you're all in here, you like him more than you like me. I'm telling you the truth. He's not telling you the truth, but you like him more because he's a swell guy. He's a nice guy. That Caiaphas guy, you hear what Jesus said to Caiaphas? Oh, what a jerk. Caiaphas is such a great guy. He did this one thing one time. Boy, oh boy. That guy's insane. Jesus of Nazareth, isn't he the son of a whore? You're the same. But there's some people that may be listening to it that are not. Go to God and pray. I know the rest of you won't even bother. And it's on purpose. You actually can't help yourself. You could not manually do it. Because God doesn't want you. And Jesus is the same way. The Jesus you've created in the system that you're in is not the real thing. Your Jesus loves you no matter what. Gay Jesus, transsexual Jesus, furry Jesus, leather wearing Jesus. I mean, this is the Jesus of today. They've also replaced God with Jesus. And a lot. I think most people are Trinitarians, whatever. I don't know if that's exactly true or not, but it doesn't seem like it is. It's pretty bad. You've replaced God with someone he sent. That's who you worship. You worship a guy who you think is someone else, but not only that, it's your version of it. And the guy could be standing right in front of you, planting his foot in your balls, and you wouldn't know the difference. Doesn't matter what they say. I think the more that he said, if Jesus did come back, the more enraged you would become. Just like the Pharisees. The more he said, the more it pissed them off. And the more they want, we gotta get rid of this guy. He's fucking it up. He came in, overturned the tables. He's screwing with our money. He's telling people that we're a bunch of morons. Some people are starting to see it. They wouldn't see it without the miracles, but with the miracles, even with the miracles, they're still kind of like, well, I don't know. Can you believe that? And it's more of rumors that are spreading about it. That's why he tried to control that at certain points. If he just came down right now, let's say I was Jesus. I'm not Jesus, but let's just say I'm his disciple. Let's say I'm right about 80 to 90% of what he said. Let's just say, and I start talking. I can't do miracles. I can't do any miracles. I can't fix anything. I can't even help you in a way like Jesus could. I'm just a disciple. All I can say to you is, go ask God. And people don't want to hear that shit. I've told people that. I told my friend that. I said, go ask God. His dad died. We were saying the same thing. Why don't you go ask God? No, I'll just think in my head about the God the Jesus that I created, and that will be good enough. That will suffice. That's what most people do. It's a very human thing. It's not a Jewish thing. It's not a Catholic thing. It's a human thing. Everyone's a human. And they all react in the exact same manner. 2,000 years ago. To the letter. Verbatim. Everything that happened then is happening now. Just a little differently. You didn't see it coming. Where you are at right now, more than likely, is you're screwed. Think about that. Jesus came back right now. Jesus, I don't know who you are. I'm a nobody, and I don't change or speak for anyone, even someone that I've dedicated my life to try to understand. But if I'm as afraid as I am, if I understood what I've stood and I'm still afraid of I am, and you're not, because I know where I sit, and I'm still like, I don't know. I can't imagine they asked you and I would get if Jesus came down right now. And I'm way better off than you. I can't imagine what he would do to you. The disappointment in your eyes when he said it, what a shock. What a shock it would be to you. And I assume for most people, they're not going to get that shock until they're already dead. Oh, you fans of like Steve Grigg, for example, the John MacArthur. John MacArthur's in hell right now. And when you die, guess what? You're going to go right next to him. Because that's your master. That's who you listen to for years. And, oh, God bless you, John. You're so filled with the Holy Spirit. Oh, blah, 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 all that kind of crap. That's where you'll be for eternity. A fake, parallel organization that created a story for you that you travel to or listen to week after week. That's your God. Something that's completely detached. I can't even begin to tell you how far away the common understanding of what Jesus said is away from what he actually said. Based on the language, I went to the top people. I paid the top people on this planet in Greece. What does this word mean? What does that word mean? Can this word generation mean? How is it used all the way back to the archaic era? So it could have never ever meant race as a whole. Ever. Not once. 20% of Americans believe. I don't know if it's 20% Americans or 20% of Christians in America. But whatever it is. Like the Patrick Hagee. Oh yeah, generation means race. That's what they'll say when you tell them. Oh, Luke 17:21. Yeah, that means Jesus was a kingdom somehow, even though it doesn't say it. But somehow Jesus was the kingdom, or the kingdom was his ministry, or whatever bullshit they tell you. And they were in the presence of it, and that's what that means. Because the kingdom hasn't come yet. Everyone knows that. The kingdom of God has come upon you. If Jesus cast out demons with the hand of God or the Spirit of God, well, that means something completely different. You see what they do? There's a scenario, but they say, nope, it's something completely different. They take that and they slap the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, right out from you, just like the Jews did. Slap. Don't believe what Jesus is saying. Don't believe it. That's why Jesus said, if you interfere with the Spirit in that way, you're screwed for life, for eternity. You can never go back. It could never be forgiven. Steve Grigg did it on the radio. He's done it many times. I see these people. I remember this Q&A. I watched John MacArthur just to get a wide range of understanding of who these people are and what they're doing. And people they'd have like a Q&A with John, and John would just be like, hold on there, little doggy, whoa, you know. This I noticed a lot of like this backhanded compliment type slap, you know, like, whoa, hold on there, dummy. People start to see. They read it. They're not stupid. These people that courted me, you know, try to get my pants, they're doctors. They're medical doctors. They're engineers. They're you know, one was an airplane pilot. I mean, these are not stupid people. They can read a book and comprehend it. They can. I can't. But they can. And they still don't get it. There are people out there, and I hope they're listening to this, they start to see something. They're like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. Even in English, it doesn't make any sense at all. ESV, NRSV, I've read them all. At least once. And it's there. It's saying a little differently, get a little different angle of the same thing. And people start to see it. Then they go to the person. It's just like our modern, political system. The Democrats hate everyone. Everyone's a piece of garbage to them. They create all these problems on purpose, just like a preacher does, basically. And then who do the people go to when everything's screwed up? The people that caused it in the first place. I see it all the time. Like in Portland, Oregon. The homeless crisis, they created the homeless crisis. People call about the homeless problems that they have to the people that created it, asking for solutions. Not, I know you created this, and if you don't fix it, we're going to come down there and jam our foot up your asses and then hang you from a tree somewhere. Oh no, it's, oh hi, with all due respect to what's happening with the homeless, well, we're working on it. We're going to get some new taxes. Oh, that sounds great. Oh, whew, thank God. Yeah, but we're having lots of problems because, Donald Trump or some other thing that has nothing to do with the decisions we make are screwing it up. Oh, that guy, I hate him. This is exactly what you're preaching. This is basic human manipulation. The Steve Gregg, I've seen it in him. People can't see it, but this thing comes out of them. It comes from inside and it comes out, just like Jesus said. It's what comes out of a person. You take a crap, that's nothing. It's what comes out of a person. When I challenged like Greg on Luke 17, even through the radio on Luke 17:21, you could see it. And it comes out of him. This darkness, because you're spreading light on it, and he reacts, puts you on hold. He starts making all these excuses. I asked him, like last time, after like a year or two, last time I talked to him, I forgot about that guy. And I asked him a question, and it came right out of him. The guy doesn't know what a preposition is, doesn't know what a pronoun is. Bart Ehrman, the same thing. His name is John Ioannis, just like our John. Ioannis Konstantakokos. He's at the head of the University of Athens. He gave me that question because we're talking about it. And he said, ask people this. Anyone that takes this view, ask them this question. And he wrote it down, through email. I've never met him in person. And you send me this email, and now I have this question. It puts people on the horns of a dilemma, as they say what Jesus did. When they said, John, is he from God? And then Jesus said, I want to ask you a question. If John did say it, how come you didn't believe it? And then they sat there and said, well, if we believe it, the people will get pissed, and they can't answer. And then Jesus says, well, I'm not going to answer your question because you can't answer it. Because either way, you're screwed. Either you admit you're wrong, which they're not going to do. You should see my back and forth with Ehrman. He's not even a Christian. He doesn't even work at the university anymore. He'll never admit it. Steve will never admit it because that's a source of income. Something. And he's willing to lie, and he knows that he's lying about what Jesus Christ said. And he knows it. And you can't see it because you got your head up his ass. If he's lying about that, what else is he lying about? A lot of other stuff, I'll tell you that. If someone can go on and on and on, like I have, I'll probably go on for an hour, blah, 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 right? The basis that I have. Where do I get it from? I can point to all of it. Does Jesus really hate you? I don't know. But on average, the people that I've seen, witnessed, watched, interacted with, the averages are not good. They're not good. And that's what this video is about. You should be very, very afraid of where you are right now. Very afraid. Because you're worshiping someone that doesn't even exist. It's a creation based off of something you think you're worshiping. The Jesus of the New Testament is much different than the Jesus you know. You don't recognize Jesus. I say something, you don't get it. It does not occur to you that what I'm saying is actually valid, because what you understand is completely different. You think I'm giving you some Jehovah's Witness or some weird preterism, full preterism, whatever that is. So you don't recognize it. Oh, he must be a such and such, or a so and so. But how come you don't recognize? How come you don't recognize what I'm saying? Maybe, like the Steve Gray, you tried to make another excuse. That's the thing. He just deflects and makes excuses, so you don't look at the real thing, the real issue. Just deflect over here. Now he's got you on the ropes. I let him do it. I let him do it 2 years ago. I didn't care. People want to listen to him and follow him, fine. But there might be someone like me. And that's basically what I'm speaking to. Me 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, or whatever. More like 5 years ago. There might be someone like that in the audience that's saying, look, this guy and all these other people, every system, there's no system to turn to. That's the thing. You can only turn to God himself. There is no system. There's no, well, I'm Catholic, but I think maybe I should go Protestant for a while. Maybe they got it. Then you get over there and you find out they're a bunch of idiots. Maybe I'll become an atheist. And then you go over to this DZ debates by Justin, and you find out he's full of shit too. His whole premise of our show is to show everyone that Christianity is fake and it's bullshit. But what he's saying is incorrect. Because if what he said, and I think he knows it, but I can't be sure, would actually lead people to the real God through Christ based on what he actually said. All he had to do was tell the truth. And he would still be right. So that's the thing. But then, this is the whole decision. I'm Jesus. Do you believe it? Yes. Do what I say. And that's where people fail. I don't doubt people really believe in Jesus. But the whole point is you don't know who he is. They are giving you a fake Jesus. A fake God, a fake narrative. You are in Disneyland. You are in some alternate planet, some alternate system that does not have anything to do with Jesus or God or Paul or anyone else, because you are being lied to. This is on purpose. This is done purposely by humans, probably by God too, because it's false. There's two different dimensions here. You believe in something that's a lie because you've been lied to, because you didn't take the time to go to God and ask him yourself. And that's all it is. That's how simple it is. You want to know what Christianity really is? You want to know Jesus? You want to know what this is all about? I'll tell you right now. Don't put anything between you and God. Love your neighbor as yourself. And go to God, hat in hand, on your knees, and just say, what do you want me to do? Where do I begin? Don't talk to anyone else. Don't watch any YouTube. Just pray all the time. Isolate yourself. Go to your job. Don't go to church. And just be with God. Pray to Him all the time. You know, God, I was coming home and someone cut me off and I got really pissed off. What is that? You know, God, my kid is a real shithead. He keeps getting bad grades. What is that? What should I do? Tell me. That's what it is. You just go to Him for everything. You ask Him about everything. You close the door, like Jesus was saying, you can almost say that you close your mind off to the world. You close the door to your mind and you're with Him. You know, you go to the bathroom with an iPhone, you aren't really paying attention. But you go to the bathroom, you just sit there staring at the wall, so you have these great ideas, and oh yeah, I'm supposed to take out the garbage. I forgot. All these things start flooding in. That's where you need to be. Just completely quiet. Most people can't do that. Most people can't even look at themselves in the mirror. I've been looking at myself for 56 minutes now. It's like having a conversation with myself. I can see myself right there. Right there. I can do it. I can look at Him. I'm not perfect. That's not the point. The point is that I'm listening and I'm actively doing and learning and regurgitating what He's telling me. And you don't recognize me. You don't hear what I'm saying. And I understand. These videos suck. But what I'm saying is accurate. I'm telling you what I've gone through and what I've seen. And what I see is a lot of people in a lot of trouble. A lot of people being manipulated and taken advantage of. And then when you tell them about it, they get pissed off. They become upset. And all you're doing is regurgitating what Jesus said. Everything I say right now, I can get in the Bible right there. Right there. Boom, right there. Old generation means shut up. You stupid idiot. You're a doctor. You're a lawyer. You're a mechanical engineer. And generation means this in every single sense, but all of a sudden right here, no rhyme or reason, generation means something different in Matthew 24. How stupid are you? That's why you get so angry, because you know how stupid and pathetic you are. That's why when I see people that try to court me into their cult, they can't even look at me. I can look at them. They can't look at me. Can't even. How's it going? Mm-hmm. They're embarrassed. They're afraid. I've seen that look before. And for what? For a little church you go to? For a view that you have? For a fake Jesus and a fake God? If you aren't willing to give it up for the real thing, then you're screwed. Good luck.